Ukraine and NATO think it's a good idea to attack the capital of a country with nuclear weapons. So today they've launched their biggest barrage yet of drones, right? In this day and age, we send drones and artillery shells, but mainly drones. And they haven't really done any damage. Actually it was 4 weeks ago exactly. The Kremlin itself was attacked with drones. And I did not a double take, a quadruple take. I was like, what? They did what with what? No, yeah, this is becoming more common. And the reason that they've done this, according to Putin, and I'll play the clip in a second, is that the Russians struck the headquarters of military intelligence, the Ukrainian one, yes. And so this was basically their revenge, yes, their act of vengeance. Now I'll play you a couple of clips. This is what we have from the drone attack on Moscow. It sounds like somebody's moped.
Да.
Here's another video. Okay, so this is a residential building. And here is what Putin thinks of all this.
Ну вот теперь, как известно, дошли вот до удара беспилотников. Российские вооруженные силы, которые вынуждены были ответить, Россия вынуждена была ответить на разгазанную украинским режимом войну на Донбассе, вынуждены были ответить мы все началом специальной военной операции, наносят удары по территории Украины, но высокоточным оружием большой дальности именно по объектам военной инфраструктуры, либо по складам с боеприпасами, либо ГСМ, используемым для ведения боевых действий. Вот мы уже говорили и о возможности нанесения ударов по штабам принятия решения, по центрам принятия решений. Разумеется, к этой категории относится и штаб военной разведки Украины, которому был нанесен удар 2-3 дня назад. В ответ, как известно, киевский режим выбрал другой путь попыток запугивания России, запугивания граждан России и ударов по жилым зданиям. Это, конечно, явный признак террористической деятельности.
Right. So here, as you'll see in the next moment, anti-aircraft surface-to-air missile. So they can shoot some of these things down. Actually, I think they were saying officially that 8 drones attacked Russia and they shot down all of them, or they crashed. So basically, no one was killed. I think someone was injured. But my point is that they're trying to the shape of warfare on the ground in Ukraine. The landscape is being changed right now because it's turning into how far can we go with drones? That's really what it is, right? So they are attacking the Kremlin with drones a few weeks ago. Now they're attacking residential areas with drones. And if you paid attention, I don't know if many of you saw this, but they also attacked Russian ships in the Black Sea just 5 days ago. Okay, here's some of the clips. You can see the footage cutting out there. Here's another one, another clip. So that one was blown up by the Russians. The other one seems, the previous clip, it seems that it actually hit the ship. So this is the new landscape. And it's I think it's a response to what Russia and Iran have been doing, because Iran is supplying Russia with very, very potent, very powerful drones, which when it first when it was first announced or discovered, they were making fun of it, like, oh, the Russians can't produce their own drones, so they have to go get these crappy ones from Iran. Well, they're not laughing anymore. So now, their retaliation for hitting Ukrainian military intelligence headquarters, and for Russia taking Bakhmut, is this: they're basically hitting them with unmanned aerial vehicles. And it's so crazy because we are talking about Russia. I mean, if someone had attacked the White House a few weeks ago, with drones, and they were attacking, residential buildings with drones. I mean, how long do you think it would take for the United States military to just send, a battalion? A battalion is too kind. Just let's say an actual army, of Marines to completely obliterate that party from the face of the earth. It would take about 2 seconds, and they're on their way. So, whether you support the Russians or you don't support the Russians is kind of irrelevant. We're talking about because everybody loves Henry Kissinger, right? Let's talk about realism here, about realpolitik, right? You're talking about a country that has the most advanced nuclear weapons on Earth, and you have 50 nations supporting Ukraine, primarily NATO, comprising 30 of those 50 countries, arming Ukraine to do this, to attack the power center of the Russian Federation. I mean, this is madness. This is complete madness. Like I said, if you sent drones to attack the White House, you would not exist anymore. You're gone forever. So why is it okay for us to arm Ukraine to do the same thing, to do the equivalent against the Russians? This is madness. You are asking for World War III. You're asking for World War III. Let me show you this this tweet here. You have this person saying that every day this war goes on, Ukraine's kinetic reach expands in magnitude and frequency. Taking the war to Moscow is the goal. Yeah, so we've been saying. Nice of you to admit it in public. Little drones, they say, will turn into way more drones of increasing complexity, and then into cruise missiles, then ballistic missiles. Okay, so you want World War III and World War IV, whole gift wrapped into one. I mean, these people are sick. These people are they really got something wrong with them. And keep in mind, this is how most of people in mainstream media think. Let me show you another tweet. This is Glenn Greenwald commenting on what I just read to you. And Glenn says that these people so clearly crave world war. If you think a nuclear-armed power will just sit by while the United States and NATO missiles are used to bomb its cities, good luck. The US suffered a one-day attack in 2001 and went to war for the next 20 years over it. You're not allowed to say anything about 9/11. 9/11 is the worst thing that ever happened in history, and the whole world should suffer, and people should be killed by the millions for it by mistake or not by mistake. Oh, we don't know. It's just the United States is the victim, and okay. When it comes to the Russians, let's just keep punching. Keep testing your waters. Well done. And here's the Pentagon. The Pentagon say that. The White House. Well, the Pentagon said the same thing. They both said that they don't support attacks inside Russia. Really? So is that why you're arming Ukraine to do attacks inside Russia? Which one is it? A White House spokesperson said, "We saw the news and are still gathering information about what happened. As a general matter, we do not support attacks inside of Russia." What does that mean? We're still gathering information, like as if they didn't know what would happen, as if they're the ones who didn't press launch. Well, what is this crap? We're gathering information. Like, sorry, I gotta go. I gotta call Jeff over at the Pentagon and find out what happened. Jeff, are you with me? Is it true you've been launching drones on Ukraine? I mean, the Ukrainians been launching drones on Russia? Jeff, that's a bad thing. What is this crap, man? It's like they think we're idiots. Like, oh, we have no clue. We're gathering intelligence. We'll get back to you when we know. Yeah, all right. Here's another video. I love how it's just in the middle of in the middle of a highway. They've just set up a SAM battery.
Russia says that Ukraine launched its biggest ever drone attack on Moscow on Tuesday, but all 8 drones were destroyed by its air defences. One politician branded it the worst attack on the capital since World War II. The incident coincided with the latest wave of airstrikes on Kiev, marking a moment where both capitals were hit on the same day. Some of Moscow's most prestigious areas were reportedly hit by drone debris, including Leninsky Prospect, a grand avenue crafted under Joseph Stalin, and an elite area of Western Moscow, where President Vladimir Putin has a residence.
Right, so now we get to Prigozhin, because he's very mad at Moscow, which is not the first time. And, he basically, again, when I say Prigozhin, I'm talking about the head of Wagner PMC. So, he's at odds with the Russian top brass because they won't give them enough weapons, right? So he basically accuses the Russian bureaucracy and Shoigu, who runs the defense ministry, of not being committed enough to the war, and they're not sending Wagner and his soldiers enough weapons and supplies and so on. So today, when this drone attack happened and it hit this very affluent and rich residential area, this is what he had to say.
По поводу беспилотников, которые летают над Москвой и в Москве. Твари вонючие, вы что творите? Вы скоты, отрывайте свои сраки из кабинетов, в которых вас посадили защищать эту страну. Вы являетесь Министерством обороны. Вы не сделали ни хера для того, чтобы наступать. Какого хуя вы допускаете прилета этих беспилотников в Москву?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny. It's really funny. I don't understand Russian, to the degree of being able to appreciate his rants, but they certainly translate them well. No, that you always have things like this where you're like wondering what the hell are you doing. I have the same reaction when I see the Israelis going into Syria. I'm looking at the Russians. And I'm saying, and the Syrians, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Are you running Israeli jet and bombing tours? Like, no, I'm joking, of course, but it's frustrating. You see, basically, in this case, it's drones. With the Israelis, it's jets. But you see them just walking. They just walking like they own the place, or flying like they own the place. Yeah, you get angry. Anyway. I think he does this in public because he thinks that it will push them into doing more. I could have sworn he said that they're going to take, sort of a month-long break. Not in total, but because of after they won in Bakhmut, he said his soldiers need time to recuperate and so on. But you can understand his reaction. I'm sure the Ukrainians feel the same way. When they see the Shahed Iranian drones coming in. But if I were in their shoes, the first place I'd complain is the American embassy. The United States started this crap. The United States are letting this happen to make money because when you have munitions and ordnance and payloads and bombs and bullets and boots and rifles and everything imaginable that it takes to equip soldiers being given to Ukraine, quote unquote, for free, someone's making money. There's a company that manufactures, this bulletproof vest or the backpack, the 40 kilogram pack that you have to take, the boots, all of it. Someone's manufacturing it and making money off of it. So the first place to complain is the American embassy. I don't think they'll care much, but the thing is that we're laughing and joking, but it's very serious because, as I said, you have to consider in geopolitics and international relations there exists there's the scale. I don't mean a scale that goes up, I mean a scale to weigh things. There's a balance of power that needs to be maintained. And just because, they teach you in school that, the Cold War ended in 1991. No, it didn't really. The United States and Russia are still world powers, and they're still fighting it out in Europe to this day. And now, maybe it's not Berlin, it's Ukraine. And it's going to turn into a hot war, not a Cold War, but a hot war, direct confrontation very soon. If you ask me, it's already happening. I mean, what you call drones being launched at the Kremlin and inside Moscow, it's a hot war. Just because they say it's Ukraine, it doesn't mean that NATO isn't behind it. And you can fault the Americans for going all the way to Ukraine and helping create this conflict. You can't fault the Russians, who are literally on their border, who are they're dealing within the bounds of their country, within the boundaries of their country and at the border of their country. You can't fault them for perceiving a threat, a very real threat. You just can't. As I said, if the shoe were on the other foot, if you had the Russians like arming Mexico or Canada, which is, it sounds unthinkable, but just imagine, and helping them send drones into the United States. I mean, they just goddamn nuke you. It's over. So I don't know for how long this is gonna go on. Until reality kind of hits these people in the face. The problem is that it's gonna hit all of us in the face, right? It's not just maniacs like this. The whole planet is gonna look very ugly if you have a nuclear war. There's no coming back from that. Everything will be over within 30 minutes. Literally the entire planet will be gone within 30 minutes. There's no coming back from that. So, and if somebody was launching drones at the White House, I tell you the same thing. You're playing with you're playing with fire. There are other ways to do this. Maybe let's ask Henry Kissinger, since he's such an amazing diplomat, right? Let's take some advice from him. Honestly though, I think the irony is that even that guy, that mass murderer, has said that what's happening in Ukraine is very dangerous. I don't care about what Henry Kissinger has to think about Ukraine and so on, but it's somebody told me. I don't know if that's true. In any case, what's next? Are they going to hit the defense ministry? And it's crazy. It's really crazy. They're playing with fire. When the Pentagon was attacked and the World Trade Centers and they tried to get the White House on 9/11, as so we're told. In any case, something definitely happened in New York, right? So when that happened, when 9/11 happened, they destroyed Iraq, they destroyed Afghanistan. They've turned the world upside down, looking for terrorists, quote unquote. And people have been told to just shut up and accept that this is how it goes. This is it. America has to do something. It has to respond to terrorist attacks and so on. And the whole planet has to accept that. If the Russians thought that way, I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to go into a whole resume of the war on terror. I mean, I've done a million of them, but it's into a summary of the war on terror. But it's really ugly, right? It's really ugly, and the Russians could easily turn around and start playing the victim now.